Yeah, where do you want to go?
Let's go with the Trump. We have a Trump Biden package today, but
Oh
it
yeah,
really centers around one man and his take on the debates. But I knew Craig would be very happy. Joe Biden, and like I don't get into politics much, but this was crazy. I turned on the debates. So I did WATS on Thursday. I finished that and then watched the KMS basketball game. And then by the time I did all that, I forgot the debates were on, and I was like, "Oh fuck, let me see if that's going on." It was on every like news YouTube channel, which
yeah.
I was kind of surprised they were just allowed to do. But good
Every
for them.
news YouTube channel. Well, because everyone had to broadcast it and say it's presented by CNN.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I just threw it on YouTube before I went to bed, and I was like, "Do I not follow this stuff closely enough?" Because probably the last time I heard Joe Biden speak was like months ago,
Yeah,
and like people like Craig, these crazy right wingers, for years have been saying Joe Biden has dementia and he's an old man. He has Alzheimer's. He has all these, diseases that you get with age. He has no memory. He's out of it. He's not the one making decisions. All of that. And I kind of thought it was just like, to some degree, I thought it was, right wingers criticizing a left wing president. And when I heard him speak, I was like, yeah, he's a silly old man, but whatever. This was, as I said the other day on KMS, like um, when you listen to like Artie Lang, the most recent thing Artie Lang put out, which
hmm
might be him talking about Norm Macdonald dying.
I believe so. Yeah,
It's sad for a couple reasons. He's talking about Norm dying, but also like you hear the life leaving his like it's very sad, genuinely, if you're an Artie fan to listen to, because you're like, oh, the lights aren't on, the lights are on, but nobody's home. Like he's the same guy is just not in there. And that's what you heard here, where it's like crazy. Play some of the clips. My favorite is when he says something and Trump responds because he couldn't quite understand what old Uncle Joe was saying.
Continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more border patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look,
That's a great subdued Trump.
yeah.
It's pretty rare that he kind of takes the high road, but he's like, I'm getting a dig in, but I'm not going over the line here.
The best part, though, which you can't appreciate, I guess, is just the face he's making while he's talking.
Well, Kirk was saying that the best thing is Trump's reaction to the golf. When Trump's like, "You believe this fucking guy?" Like about the golf handicap.
I might have that one.
That's fine. That's fine. We'll just play one more because my focus is not so much the debate itself. You guys don't want to hear my analysis of that. I'm analyzing someone else analyzing the debates, which I find very interesting. But let's play. You said you have one more of Joe Biden.
Yeah, I thought this was a wild thing to just say.
I can't figure out what he's talking about.
So many young women who have been, including a young woman who just was murdered, and he went to the funeral. The idea that she was murdered by an immigrant coming in. They talk about that, but here's the deal: there's a lot of young women being raped by their in-laws, by their spouses, brothers and sisters.
You know the old adage of don't visit your wife's family around Christmas because there's a good chance they rape you.
It's so crazy.
Your in-law. Did he mean step family?
Now, the only thing, well, no, because then he specifies, he goes, your brothers and sisters.
Your brothers and sisters. Everyone in your family's raping you. You know what that's like.
The only thing I could think of is that his son Hunter started fucking his brother's widow and got her hooked on crack after he died.
Well, I don't want to get into these type of conspiracy theories, but
That's not conspiracy, that's fact.
But yeah, it was crazy, especially for someone like me that doesn't like follow this stuff that much. I was like, that can't be the same guy, because even like if you guys were saying that he sounded off his rocker months and years ago. Go back and listen to those tapes. Like he's so much more with it.
Oh,
even
yeah.
like a year ago or something.
Yeah. But,
so I want to get to Richard Ojeda's take on all of this, but first, Can we read the tweet that I sent you?
Oh yeah, let me pull that up.
We haven't done a Ruth Conda in a while, but this is a doozy.
Oh, we used to do them all the time.
So this is a real person, right?
I believe so.
It seems like it. But based on the content of this tweet, I can't imagine.
Let me pull that up. Sorry, something just popped up and I didn't know what it said. We got someone named Ellie Meistel.
Okay.
And it says, let me pull it up so everyone can see it. My kid just said, it's so sad to watch a pack of lies beat a good person just because the good person.
Pack of lies.
Just because the good person can't speak.
I saw my niece and nephew yesterday, and they're 7 and 6 years old, and they were like, "Uncle Mike, how do you address this pack of lies?" Sure, Joe Biden seemed out of it, but the lies, damn it! And I said, "You're 6. Why are you talking like this?"
The tweet ends. I literally just gave him a hug and said, debates don't matter.
That's all you can do. That's really all you can do in that moment when your young child is trying to come to grips with a liar. I just can't face the non-truths anymore.
But, Biden was not perfect.
I'm glad she at least didn't put the kid's age out there. That's smart if you're going to do one of those. The kid could be 25 for all we know.
Right.
So that was smart on her part, I guess.
Our boy, Richard Ojeda.
Okay. So let's get into Uncle Dick, who I still, by the way, I consider Richard Ojeda the uncle of this program. Like, he may not align with our political views, particularly not Craig's, but I think he'd come on here and be like, you guys are crazy. I think the only reason we could have, I think the only time, I should say, the only time we could have him on is well after the election, particularly if Trump wins. We got to give him some time to cool down,
Oh, for sure.
I don't know how he's going to handle it. So even CNN, which we all know how right-wing CNN is. CNN after the debate was like, guys, this is bad. This guy, that was a corpse up there. I don't know what the fuck we're going to do, but we can't let that guy run for president. That's crazy.
Everyone on the panels was like, I was talking to people in the Biden camps. I was talking to people in the Obama camps, and they're all like, we need to replace this guy tomorrow.
Could we have a cadaver up there? Like anybody else? This is rough. Like Democrats were saying this. But there is one man out in the wilderness saying, guys, what are y'all so worked up about? It's not that bad.
Okay, so now let's talk about the debate. Now listen to me, folks. First and foremost, the first 30 minutes last night, I was literally screaming.
Okay.
Because I believe that Joe Biden was making a few gaffes.
Just a few, all right.
15,000 jobs, and it's really 15 million jobs. He said 1,000 trillionaires, it's really 1,000 billionaires.
Yeah, he misspoke a couple of times. It's not because he's wheezing.
It wasn't that he sounded like he was doing Dirty Harry the whole time.
Yeah, it's not because he was visibly drooling on the stage. He made a couple of errors. Okay, I got you, Rich.
But other than that, he's told the truth.
Yeah,
after
he
about
didn't
the
actually.
30-minute mark,
He did not. He was like, you said you're going to inject bleach.
Well, yeah, and he told a bunch of stories about like a guy that was dead, that he would have had to be dead for the story to line up right.
He also said he was a 6 handicap in golf. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
he finally found his stride.
No, he didn't, Richard.
Okay.
Let's see. Next we got.
All right, so we found his stride.
Found his, I guess.
Yeah, well, let's hear more about that.
This is a good job, but.
Yeah, listen. Joe did a great job. We can all admit that. He was terrific on the debate. But, Mike, maybe there are some things they could do, which is perfectly logical. When someone does a great job on a debate, this is a perfectly natural thought to have, I think, from our pal Richard.
The morals of an alley cat. Folks, let me tell you something. The last hour, I believe that Joe Biden did a good job.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that I don't know if it was just the amount of practice. It looked like he was literally ready just to lay down and go to sleep.
Yeah, that was probably it. He was probably so tired from practice.
He was tired from being at the presidential cabin for 7 days.
Can you imagine how much practice you would have to do for it to result in that?
The
I'm so sorry. I just been practicing so much.
best part was after, like, this is the worst optics I've seen, was Jill Biden goes up to Joe and she's like, "You did so good. You answered."
It's crazy.
all
It's the first time in like 8 years, really, that both sides are like, "Oh boy." Like, this has brought people together. It's closed the aisle because people are like, "Gee," but Richard, he's staying positive. He's saying, "Listen, Joe did a good job. Maybe he just had too much practice," which, like, if you practice anything, really, like, Craig, I'm sure you go to the gun range a lot.
I haven't in a bit, but yes.
But you have before.
Yep.
And then afterwards, of course, you go, "Listen, people are raping their in-laws, and they."
Yeah, I get there. I'm hitting the target every time. By the 6th day, I'm shooting the volunteers and stuff by accident. It's a problem.
I saw Medicare, and yeah, so much practice usually results in you not being able to speak.
About that.
So Richard thinks this guy is over-practiced.
I woke up this morning and I thought to myself, Gavin Newsom.
That's a very natural thought to have. Every time there's a presidential debate, and we're 4 months from the election, you think that guy did a really good job. His only problem is he practiced too much. So let's see if at the last minute we could completely change the candidate and just have a totally different guy.
The right has been sitting on this video of Newsom that I just saw for the first time, of him coming out and apologizing for fucking his campaign manager's wife.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's very funny. And no one knew that before?
I didn't.
Oh, that's funny. But that's got to feel good to them. They're like, hey, they're talking about Gavin.
Yeah.
Honestly, they should wait until like he's actually running. Right?
Yeah.
Unless they just figured it would come out eventually. But
yeah, they'll just keep playing it.
Yeah. Anyways,
so I will tell you this. Joe Biden showed up in Raleigh today, and I asked everybody here to watch what he did today.
Yeah. Watch the thing that he didn't bomb.
He's in a Waffle House.
That's what you should pay attention to. Let me tell you something. We know that he had a cold, and it was so bad that they actually tested him for COVID. And that was a big reason why the beginning of last night, he was really feeling pretty rough. You could tell that his voice was raspy throughout the entire deal. But today, he absolutely looked great and sounded great. Let me tell you something.
Good.
When it didn't matter.
He's back to normal. A speedy recovery.
So you're telling me he sounded a lot better once his teleprompter was back?
Yeah, no, he's totally fine now. He's just I like Richard keeping a positive attitude.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Here we are. This is when we get some classic Richard here. The stoop.
And to be honest with you, I'm sick and tired of the stupid. I'm sick and tired of the stupid. I'm sick and tired of people sitting here saying, oh, Joe Biden did a horrible job last night. We got to dump Joe Biden. Joe Biden, absolutely, once he got his footing together, he killed it. The last hour, everything that he said was spot on.
He was great.
I will tell you, as a person who has debated before, sometimes when you start a debate, you're kind of nervous.
You know what? I think that's it. I think that was probably it. I think the leader of the free world was probably, he walked in and he was like, oh, shit. Jake Tapper's here? They didn't tell me that.
The guy who's literally called my opponent a Nazi and Hitler several times?
I think Joe Biden was whistling into that room. Do. I ain't got a care in the world. What are all these cameras doing here? Oh, God.
He gets nervous.
He's raping in-laws.
I was going to say. Jill's parents touched my ass.
I'm sorry. I'm so nervous. Well, that's what you want. A president that gets nervous in debates.
Nicole Moore says, "Yeah, the man who's been in politics for as long as I've been alive is nervous."
He's probably a little. Hey, can we not all relate to that? He's probably a little nervous because I imagine, and Craig, you're the political guy, so I apologize if I sound a little naive here. I am guessing that is Joe Biden's first debate in his entire life. Yes.
Yeah, actually.
Oh, good. Okay.
I understand.
He's never debated before. He's never been on television. So this was all a very big day for him.
Right. He's like,
the bright lights got to him. That's what you saw up there. It was a man who was a little nervous.
I also want to point out, Biden challenged Trump to this.
I like Richard going into nursing homes and talking to the dementia patients and going, "What are you so nervous for? I'm just a guy."
Biden challenged Trump to this and set an insane amount of rules and like parameters for it. And Trump goes, "Yeah, okay." And this still happened.
That's the thing is like, even Republicans were like, Trump wasn't great, but this is terrible. Like, this guy should be in a nursing home. This is crazy.
Words, but after a little bit, you kind of get the hang of it.
Yeah, once he shook the nerves off.
The hang of it, and now you're no longer scared of anybody out there in the audience.
Yeah.
Richard,
he got lost in Jake Tapper's eyes.
I don't want Richard to know this, but one of Biden's parameters was there's no live audience.
Well, because he was so nervous, Craig.
It's true.
He was going to be so goddamn nervous.
Out there in the audience,
this Jake Tapper sure is dreamy.
Dude, it was, I got to be honest, like, it was so funny watching the Young Turks react to this.
What was there? I didn't see that. What was there?
You're like, this is fucking over. This is stupid.
So even they had a reasonable take.
Not only that, Biden was so bad, they were like, Trump was good when he was talking about January 6th. Like, they started caving on everything.
Just liberals are like, this Trump guy is pretty good. Meanwhile, but Biden might just get one vote in November. Richard Ojeda.
And that's what he did. And oh, by the way, once again, look up Joe Biden, Raleigh, North Carolina, because today that guy was hitting home runs with every sentence.
Right on time. That's what you want, is a guy that performs in batting practice. Richard. I love Richard. Could Richard come on here and we bust his balls about Biden? Would he be able to deal with that?
If he ever gets a whiff that I work at Newsmax,
I'm wondering.
I'm dead to him.
He seemed playful. We mentioned you were a Trump supporter the last time he was on.
Did we? I don't even know if we did.
I definitely did. I'm pretty sure.
I have to go back and listen.
I think I said it like, Richard, do you believe this guy?
No. We got tough guy.
This is why does everything have to come to blows? We're in podcasting, for God's sake. Why are we all putting up our dukes?
And we got a bunch of poorly educated people that think that he is the friggin' way ahead. A man who spews hatred. A man who they say was sent by God, but is the most ungodlike man on the planet. 10 Commandments? Shit. That's friggin' Donald Trump.
Shit.
Y'all jive turkeys are going to vote for Donald Trump? Shit.
Trump's friggin' hit list right there. 7 deadly sins? That's Donald Trump. Greedy, stingy, selfish, liar.
All the others.
Donald Trump. And good Lord, we've got people
in the other three
that aren't smart enough to see that a man who spews hatred, that friggin' calls women names and talks shit about everybody. You do realize Donald Trump, if he actually had to fucking be a man and actually had to stand toe-to-toe with another man and run his mouth, I guarantee you Donald Trump couldn't win a fucking fight. And,
I'm
and what's sad is
I'm a little young in the sense I wasn't paying it. Were Bush and Obama constantly getting into boxing matches, and I just don't remember it?
Oh yeah, you don't remember that was like weekly.
Why don't you fight me, Rachel Maddow, bitch? Who's he gonna fight? What are you talking
Oh, we losing you?
about? Oh, I hit. Hello?
Hello, hello,
Oh, God. Hello?
hello.
Should I enter the room?
Yeah,
You can.
you're choppy. Hey, everybody. We will be right back. Call man Tim. Yeah, no. Yeah, type 1 if you miss Hack Ride. Stuttering John cut the cable.
How's that?
Sounds good. People are saying
that-
Stuttering John cut the cable on us.
Well, John, we make mistakes. Play those clips, you big dummy.
It won't be the last one.
We make plenty of mistakes. Can I hear the end of that Richard clip? Because I think we were building to something.
Oh yeah, it's not over yet.
think that Donald Trump's a tough guy because of the bullshit that he spews. Donald Trump is a colossal orange pussy. And his kids are pussies.
What does that have to do with that?
And everybody close to him are pussies.
Everyone?
He's very angry.
Everyone's a pussy. That is a great schoolyard mentality where it's like, hey, Joe Biden was pretty bad in the debates, huh? Trump's a pussy! And his kids are pussies! Have him say it to my face! Why are we all threatening each other with fights?
Why not?
All right, I guess. Fine.
Just fight them always. I have another Ojeda clip, but it has nothing to do with the debate.
Oh, it's from the day, but I listened to see if Ojeda was doing live debate coverage. It was from that night. He did not, unfortunately, but he did have one. Remember when we talked about Ojeda? He was talking about immigrants that pick our fruit and why white people. That was a job for immigrants, basically. White people shouldn't be doing that.
Yes, I remember this.
Which feels a little, lower expectations, as they say. The soft bigotry of lower expectations. I think that might be what Richard is suffering from here. And we get to the Cuban people now. The Cuban people are suffering at the hands of Richard Ojeda in this clip.
They don't give a shit about those killed children. They want the poor people, the people of color, and that's including you Cubans in Florida.
You Cubans.
It's including you Cubans.
Listen here, you Cubans.
They're supporting Donald Trump, and you don't even realize that he will send your ass back to friggin' Cuba the moment he friggin' gets back to power. But they want you to leave. They want poor people in their areas to leave. They want people of color to leave. Ron DeSantis wants nothing but a white Florida. And if you people don't see this, then you're just not smart enough.
That's great to be like, listen, you dumb Cubans. I'm speaking for you.
Dumb Cubans.
This goes for you, you Cubans. You aren't smart enough. If I could just say one thing to Richard, is like he could probably phrase that better. Our buddy Richard could probably do a little better job of explaining his point there, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.